Thanks, Hera. Confirm that you are recording and transmitting.
Yes, yes, confirmed.
Okay, good. So then, I should probably start at the beginning. Or something. I'm Eli Marine. I am an archaeologist on hire for Reza Khan and official with the Lantern Colonial Office. If something should happen to me, please make sure this report ends up in his hands. For him and all others, this is a short recording of recent events. I had arrived at Greenhaven after completing my previous mission. Between the time of the filling of my previous report and the arrival of transportation, I was unfortunately mugged and some of my things stolen. My co-worker Melek Dyson went on to retrieve my wallet while I recovered from the beating. These events happened shortly before the arrival of the LCS Cairo, our transportation to our next mission. Given the deaths of several of my co-workers on the previous mission, replacements had been sent with our ride. The four, Simon Xander, Alex Carter, Scott, and Hexlug, came to me and then went off to find Melek. Found out by the time we were all on the Cairo and heading out that not only had Melek and the others run into a local crime boss of some sort, but they'd run across a body. Given when I told Khan my previous report, this left me very uneasy, given similarities to, well, some of the other recent deaths. The Cairo left Greenhaven and almost immediately was forced into inspections by some Capal chumps. They were looking for someone who had come in on the Cairo, but who, as they discovered, was no longer on board. Once we were past that mess, we were on our way to our mission proper. Not quite sure what all that was about, honestly. The mission is on the planet Kosambi. It's where I am at now in the Colossus system. We were sent here because of two reasons, best I can tell. A bunch of alien robots have been showing up and bothering locals, for starters. But they also mentioned some sort of particle beam coming from the ancient alien, base or complex where they've been seeing a lot of the robots. And I guess we should just check it out. So kind we did. But I'm getting ahead of myself. But I'll get to all that in a moment. You see, while we were getting processed by the locals, and I was stuck at the contract office trying to secure my publishing rights, our pilot was murdered. We ran into the rest of the new members of the team at the main base, Cash and Mal, and well, let's cut to the chase. It's pretty clear Melek probably killed the pilot. I mean, the rest of us left the shuttle. The locals, the clones, Benson and Norcus, required that she stay on the shuttle with our pilot. So she was on the shuttle, alone with Nikki, and so most of us started to chase after her. A couple of the clones started driving us, out to get her, following her tracks. Mal, I think it was, figured out something about her positioning. I'm not quite sure how he did it, but we were getting pretty close, and we were fired upon by Melek. So they went after her, and she shot out the engine of the vehicle and knocked it out. The rest of the group cornered her, and then suddenly everything was okay. I wasn't there personally. I'm not a fighter, but it was just so weird. I don't know what she told them exactly, but suddenly we're all on some special secret mission or something. It brought us after about a day of hiking to a crashed ship. We ran into some robots there, and we got the ship fueled up while we were in a bit of a fight. And then we launched off. The ship, the one I'm in now, came with a partially compressed AI named Hera. She's been helping with the recording here. So, low on fuel, we landed just outside the central area where all the weirdness is going on, on this planet. There might be fuel around here somewhere, according to Hera, but the rest have gone off to investigate things. I honestly want to explore the ruins, kind of, but without backup, it just isn't very safe, and they're kind of heading off to, I guess, the main goal here. I'm skeptical about everything working out here, honestly. And also, I don't really consider any of them good backup. I don't trust them to watch my back. I mean, it's obvious Melek killed Nikki, but no one seems at all interested in handing her over to the locals or any other authority. I've considered Melek my friend for a while now, but no, it just too much of a coincidence that people have been dying around here recently. If you see this message, Mel, I'm sorry, but you need to be stopped. I don't know what you said to convince the others, but I'm worried that you have them in some sort of thrall or something. I just can't trust them. Reza Khan, when you see this, please do everything in your power to have the team apprehended. If I get pulled into it too, that's fine. We'll sort it out later, but something weird is going on here, and...
Transmission interrupted.
Why was the transmission interrupted?
The LCS Cairo has entered hyperspace.
Hyperspace? You gotta be kidding me. Why?
Unknown. Potential related to the energy weapon fired at the LCS Cairo.
The Cairo is under attack?
Was unknown craft just changing targets.
Well.
Well, that's right. We were looking for fuel.
Yes. Fuel. There's also the robots. There's the particle beam. There's the mysteries.
Melandra.
You got the
well,
cyborg.
You got a lot of things going on.
And you were left off in an elevator. But for anyone popping into the stream or watching this recording later, how about we introduce ourselves?
Well, I'm Alex Carter. I'm an ex-military private detective. I've been trying to crack a case for a long time. Take a few special other than that, so I'll move on to the next person.
I'm Velding. I'm playing Cash Scio. He's a big city detective.
I am Gepwin, and I am playing Simon Ignatius Xander III, who's a posh British explorer dude.
And I'm Mao. I am the resident hacker, tech person. I just like to get into trouble and try and get out of it as much best as possible.
Excellent. And I am, of course, Izixs, the game master here, and I'll be running these guys through the ringer here. So where we left off is everyone was in an elevator. Just kind of interesting symmetry since the first session way back when also started in an elevator.
He did actually, yeah, because we were about to meet Khan, weren't we, for the first time and take a job?
Yes.
Yep.
And so, this elevator is actually going fairly slow, but it seems to be one of those lifts that's all about, like, transporting sensitive equipment, so it's kind of understandable. And so you got an AI on the little speaker there, and it is telling you a little bit of maybe what to expect. And, you guys had sort of worked out an arrangement that it was going to kind of maybe help you, and maybe you could help it. But the exact rundown of what that might entail was not entirely clear, but it did offer up to show you some, get you some ways to get deeper into the complex. And so that's why it sort of has directed you to this particular floor that you are going to be arriving at shortly. However, the elevator seems to pause for a brief moment, and all of your ears pop.
Oh.
Okay.
As the
This is so sudden air pressure.
Yes, the elevator car is apparently being pressurized. Now, remember, most of this planet has very low, atmosphere. Very much. If you don't have your equipment on, you're not going to last very long at all. However, apparently something is changing inside this elevator right now.
Actually, to be honest, my ears probably don't pop at this point.
Correct, because you are in your spacesuit.
Yeah, I'm a little weird. A really expensive biosuit, yeah. Looking at everyone who putting their fingers in their ears and wiggling them around, thinking, what are you guys doing? Does the biosuit have any readings inside at all? Any external sensors that would tell me what the outside details of things are, or is that pretty much just a nah? I don't know.
I'm not sure exactly. Give me a spacesuit roll or whatever you need to. Probably spacer.
Oh god!
Spacesuit
Oh god!
roll.
Dice. Yes, I get to roll dice. Oh, Love dice. Okay, so yeah, vac suit skill.
Yes.
I'm guessing. I do have spacer, but
I think
vac
vac
suit
suit,
is
yeah.
probably. Although it's a much lower skill level, it's more relevant. Yeah, I've only got 9 in vac suit. I've got 14 in spacer, but vac suit is the. I still made it actually. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, it's a pretty good roll. You figure out that apparently there is sufficient air pressure to be actually higher than sort of standard temperature and pressure here. And it's the pressure is actually like more dense than like Earth, like sea level.
Okay, but it's kind of within safe limits, yeah.
Yes, and you also get the general impression that the air is probably breathable.
Good.
But
I'll just
everyone's
keep
still
an eye on
alive.
everybody else. Yeah, if I see everybody else choking to death, then I'll know that the readings are wrong.
Because everyone else has sort of little breathing masks on to help them, along with the low pressure stuff here. But now it seems they're kind of becoming uncomfortable. But what you do with that is up to you. So the elevator starts on again, and pretty soon the elevator door opens, and let me reveal a little bit of the area here. Welcome to computer level A, or whatever as I called it. You should be able to move around. I'll have Melandra poke her head out first.
The AI that we met, what was its name? What was it called?
I don't remember if I gave it a name, but it might be identified itself as...
Yes, it
Oh,
did.
yeah,
I remember that one.
Oh yeah.
Good old. I remember him well. Friend of all dolphins everywhere.
Right. And I don't exactly remember the details of the deal we struck up with it.
I think what I remember was the particle beam. They thought the particle beam was disrupting the star and causing solar flares, which was damaging issues. But this thing is basically an AI that's defending the facility, and it's started firing the particle beam into the star to reduce or prevent the solar flares. Apparently, they would be much worse without the beam, is what I remember.
Yes.
It seemed like there was no reason for it to lie, but we get further into the facility either way. So,
Yeah, I seem to remember it was parts were breaking down and it had no way to repair them, so that's why it was willing to work with us.
yeah,
Okay.
something like that. Because
Yeah,
it's got
there's-
limited control over the robots.
Yeah, the robots are actually run by a different AI, it is said.
They just need to get over their differences and start to talk.
Yeah, but the
I could mediate that if need be, if they want to sit down around the table and drink a bit of oil or electrons or whatever. And, I don't know what AIs drink. What do they do to chill?
I don't remember if I said it explicitly, but the AI at some point mentions that it has difficulty communicating with the other AI in a technical sense. Like it can sort of give directives in this general direction, but it can't, negotiate as it's presently set up. And I will say at this particular point, as Melandra sort of goes out in the hallway, she suddenly seems a little nervous and puts her hand on her laser pistol.
Okay, I'm gonna definitely do the same. My heavy pistol.
Same here.
She kind of waits, though.
I'm gonna poke my head around the corner down the corridor and see what's happening, but I'm definitely gonna keep one eye on her because I still don't trust her fully.
All right. You look around the corner, and you see a bit more... Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Reveal area. There you go. There seems to be some sort of turret down there, but it doesn't seem to be moving at all.
Does it have any lights on?
Nope.
Does it look powered up or okay?
It seems fairly inactive, but she's still kind of watching it for the moment.
See, it might not be shooting of her because she's artificial. So, what the hell? I'm just going to step out halfway.
And the turret does not move.
Okay, cool. I'm
Do you
going to
think-
indicate you a universal hand gesture just for people to follow up behind me.
Yeah. Melandra looks
right.
like she's gonna about to say something, then she sees you doing hand gestures, so she doesn't. So she's gonna carefully move forward, and then she's going
Yeah,
to
look.
poke at the turret.
I'm going to keep an eye on the turret, but also I'm going to look around.
So, we'll start revealing more of the map here.
Yeah.
Is the turret just a stationary turret?
Seems to be fairly affixed to the floor.
What the fuck
What is that?
You think you see a bag over there?
Oh, well, that's not as bad as I feared. This place is a tip. So it looks like some sort of control panel or something.
Alejandra keeps inspecting the turret.
Hackerman, can you see if this thing is connected to the network or fully off? Is
That
it
was
going
my
to
next-
turn on and shoot us in the back?
Good point. Let's have a look. Can I actually see this thing on the network?
It does not seem to be wireless. It's probably a hardwired of some sort.
Is there anything I can plug into just to check and make sure it stays offline?
Give me a perception roll. Or I guess if you have a skill it's appropriate, then use that.
That's 3d8, right?
3d6.
3d6.
So if you want to go 3d8 and shoot yourself in the foot here, that's fine too.
Yeah, I've hacked myself before. I'm used to.
All right,
It's true, actually, yeah.
how much you make that by?
Perception. Where are you hiding?
You're 12.
I have
So
12, so.
I'm going to say that you think you identify something similar to the hardwire ports on this thing. The connectors maybe not going to work perfectly, but you could maybe get something to work out.
Well, I do have that connector adapter AI thingy
Yes.
from before, so hopefully that'll.
This is
interface.
this is different hardware though, so you're going to maybe have to
It's like that, but
hold
it'll
it in
be
place.
closer closer than my USB-C tips that way.
Yes.
My USB-C doesn't quite fit that one.
So it'll take you a few minutes to get that sorted out. What's everybody else doing?
I'm just bringing up the rear.
All right.
I'm going to see if Melandra, because I'm going to stay next to or behind Melandra.
All right.
But, not making it obvious, but I'm by her side.
Yes.
Guess
As
I'll
and when
peek
needed.
around the corner a little bit so we have the exits covered.
All right. So
Yes.
you're gonna reveal the room, and it's a room. And
Hooray!
as you get a little closer down, you can see a little bit more down here as well.
Oh, it's a Roomba.
Actually, you can identify that because of your sort of background. That looks like some sort of stove, like a portable camping stove.
Oh,
Weird.
there may be signs of habitation.
Well, the word portable makes you suggest to someone recent, hopefully. Well, not hopefully.
All right. Anyone else doing anything right now?
I'm just waiting for this thing to be accessed.
All right. In that case, Gepwin, suddenly there's a guy
Yes.
over here,
Oh, it's one of the clone dudes.
and he's pointing something threatening in your general direction. It looks
Is that
kind of like a
Narcos or a
gun,
different one?
Like a gun?
kind of like a gun, but give me a roll for if you want to try to identify what it is.
Alright. Where's my perception on this thing? I made it by 1.
All right. Well, you
I
can.
think. Am I supposed to roll higher or lower? I can't remember now.
You're supposed to rolling lower, but I'm actually going with your gun skill here because you do have pistols. And
Okay, so I made it by 1.
yes, and you identify this as not actually a gun; it's a soldering iron.
Thank goodness for that.
I'll have my gun kind of pointed near his feet, so I'm not going to shoot him. So you may want to put that soldering iron down before someone gets burned slightly.
No.
He says to you, "Who are you?"
I am Simon Xander III, gentleman adventurer.
What are you doing here?
I forget.
We're working for you guys! I'm going to shout.
He looks more and more nervous. And he brandishes the soldering iron even more threateningly.
Soldering iron.
We have no intention of hurting you. You can come over here and talk.
He actually backs up, and he's like breathing really heavy at this point. I think it's time for a reaction roll. Simon, you're on this one here.
Wow, I can only roll 11s.
Rolled 11. Do you have any bonuses to that?
Which skills that wear me?
Anything that would mentions reaction rolls, charisma. Let me look over your character sheet here.
I have charisma 2 plus 1 influence to rolls.
All right, I think that will definitely help you. So that'll be a total of 13, unless there's got anything else to add to it.
I don't think so.
All right, so 13 will actually be a good reaction. He starts to slowly lower the soldering iron, though he looks very nervous still. What are you doing here? They sent you. No, they're coming for me, aren't they? Well, I don't want to go back.
We didn't even know anyone was here. We're here to find something about robots and repair systems. Some crazy computer told us.
Laser beam things.
Oh, you're here to. So you're troubleshooters. So, I guess it makes sense that they wouldn't want to risk themselves. He drops the soldering iron finally. Don't hurt me.
We're not going to hurt you. Who are you so worried about coming after you?
The other me's. They think I'm dead, I hope, but I don't want to go back.
Well, they certainly didn't tell us anything about hunting down extra clones, so it's not part of our mission.
Okay, can you make sure to promise me that you're not going to tell them where I'm at?
I'm not sure I'd be able to identify you to them even if I wanted to.
Okay.
As long as you don't tell us your designation, then we're not going to know anything.
Okay, I'll make sure not to do that then. That'll be easy. So he's gonna sort of go into this corner now. He's still very super nervous.
Down here?
No, I came down here myself. I got injured. You can see, the light's pretty dim here, but you can see that his outfit seems to have some nasty looking scratches on it, but it doesn't look like that he's actually got hurt. And I snuck off when they thought I was dead. I think I don't want to be. I don't want to be not myself anymore.
Oh, we've lost someone.
Uh-oh.
Looks like we've
Lost Van.
lost Van Velding. Yeah,
Okay.
he is gone.
Yes, he has some issues with Fireflux. In that case, we'll jump over to Mal for a little bit. Mr. Tucker, give me a hacking roll.
A hacking roll.
Yes. Or yes.
And hacking. That is an 11. That is passes by 1.
All right. That'll be good enough because it's a pretty easy check here. That you are pretty sure that the turret is generally offline. You do get a little bit of a network signal that connects you into a larger computer system elsewhere. But as far as you can tell, it's not trying to communicate with this particular device at all.
Okay, so as long as we don't tease off the AI, it should stay offline.
Yeah, most likely. Alternatively, that might actually think this one's broken, so you're not quite sure, but it is generally not trying to interact with this at all.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, with the clone here, would have probably shot the clone a long time ago as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
You also get the general sense that you might be that the rest of the network is probably indeed connected to the AI you've been interacting with recently.
Okay, so this is probably the same network as the one we've been working with, not the robots one.
Yes.
Okay.
So it might be a case where the robots are run by one AI and the
It's run by another.
things like turrets might be run by the other one. So more clues of what's going on here. So Van's still not here, but we could continue the interaction a little bit. So you got this clone here. He seems nervous and unhappy, and generally in a bad shape here. What you gonna do with him?
Well, it sounds like he's saying that they're being mind controlled.
Well, he said he didn't want to go back, so at the very least he doesn't want to be around them, which, to get a bit past it, they were kind of creepy. How long have you been down here?
Just maybe a week. We've been. We've been setting out to try to figure out the patterns of the robots. There really kind of isn't one. They just seem to be scavenging, I think, but slowly spreading out from this area. And I came in here with a couple other security folks, and I managed to get myself in a little bit of a run-in with one of the robots, but I kind of figured out they don't necessarily just attack you for no reason. So I figured out, sort of how to fake getting in trouble, and they abandoned me, and I was like, okay, good. And then I snuck off, and then I made my way down here. I crawled through several of the, various vents and things like that to get over here, and then I popped up in here, and it's all pressurized, and it's like I'll spend some time here while I try to figure out what I'm going to be doing next. And, so you guys are here to deal with the robots?
Robots, AI, the base, bit of everything, really.
Okay. Well, I think there is some AI in control of this, but it didn't really want to talk to me, so...
Yeah, we've been talking to it. I've nicknamed it Dave now because it's easier.
Okay, Dave.
Are you actually injured, or have you recovered a bit since you said you were injured originally?
No, I faked it. I'm okay. He cautiously comes closer.
Gets me closer.
To sort of maybe to sort of get a feel of how many people are actually down here. He seems pretty cool with Simon so far, despite the little gun on his feet, thing. But he seems a little bit nervous about Melandra, of course, because she spooks everybody. But seems okay with the rest of you guys. I haven't explored too much of this place. The grates and things like that do allow one, to change levels here. But did you guys come down to the elevator? You got it working?
Yeah, we had a little talk to that AI that's being a bit cagey with you. We had a chat to him, and we sorted out an arrangement.
Okay. Huh. Well, that would have been easier.
Hey, you got a translator program for their language?
Yeah, I got one. Do you need one?
Oh, no, I'm just thinking if you're going to be sticking around here, you look like you need as many advantages as you can get.
Oh, yeah, I got a computer in my stuff over here. But, the console over there, I couldn't make too much heads or tails of it. He kind of comes up cautiously, moving past you guys, and heading towards this bit of territory over here. And he starts sort of waving his hand at it. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure this is some sort of interaction terminal, but how it actually works, I'm a little bit of a loss. It might be, bit beyond me. Don't worry, I'll open up some of this.
Mika must reveal the map.
All right, what do I see in this console? Have anything obvious what its intentions are, what its uses are?
When you particularly come closer, you actually start hearing the AI speak from it. Hello again. This is
Hello.
a useful access point that I wish to make use of to allow you to communicate with me as we progress further through the complex. There is a tablet you can extract from under the surface level here. I shall unlock it. And you hear a little click.
Okay, take the tablet out and have a look at that.
Yes, the tablet has a bunch of alien languages on it, but it appears to be Wi-Fi capable, so hooray.
Specifically the Wi-Fi protocol, not just a generic alien wireless connection. Literally Wi-Fi. This is like bizarre.
Well, there's only so many ways you could do certain things, so
It is ancient technology.
so it's out of date.
Oh my god, it's like oh no, it's wireless like A or something.
Yeah, 802.11a.
No.
So
Okay, this tablet, let's have a quick investigate of that, see if there's anything on that I can utilize.
There is some things that were kind of already loaded up onto it, including what looks to be a general map of at least this part of the facility, and various different levels up and above this and below this, as well as what seems to be a highlighted path that basically takes you back to the little elevators you just had exited, and then goes down to some sort of deep underground tunnel.
Fun.
Okay, let's share that map with everyone so they got a map that they're on. Because it'd be helpful to know where you're going.
Mm-hmm. You now hear the AI's voice from the tablet itself. Excellent.
That's not creepy.
We can now interact more completely as you progress. Also, I do not trust that newcomer you have discovered here.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about him. He's not coming along. He seems harmless enough.
And
And he's unarmed, so you'd be alright.
he sort of nervously shuffles backwards. So, what you guys doing?
Okay.
Well, should we take Cloney with us? And can we call him something?
Can we call him
Well,
Josh
we should
Clooney?
just. What good is he? He's just another person to drag along. He seems, fine, I guess.
I mean, do we have any use for him? Or is he just somebody we leave behind and...
I think we just leave him behind and keep an eye. You know what I mean? Make sure he doesn't sneak up on us or something.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah, I don't
why
think it's
is
gonna
it
be
that
any-
he's hiding down here and doesn't want to go back? We need to know what the clones are up to.
Yeah, he could still. Yeah, I mean, I just kind of assumed that he didn't want to be under their. So he wants to throw off the yoke of their oppression, kind of a deal. But yeah, there might be something, dodgy going on.
So I was asking why he doesn't want to go back if someone's got good social skills.
It's almost like you guys have some people that are good at interrogation around here.
Hmm.
Well, I can intimidate and, I can fast talk. I do actually. Do I have interrogation? No, I don't think I actually have interrogation.
I'm just charismatic.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of charisma, a little bit of wit. Yeah.
I guess it kind of comes down to what method do you want to go with?
Well, he's already afraid of and doesn't want to go back, but he seems to be okay with us. So I think playing the nice version rather than the intimidation version might be good.
Yeah, probably.
So, Steve, I'm going to call you Steve.
Okay.
That way we don't have to accidentally give away your identity to the other clone use.
He seems okay with this.
So, why is it that you've been hiding down here?
Well, honestly, do you know how our collective works?
No.
Oh. Well, I guess I should start there. So, legally, me and all the clones of me from the original me, we are all legally the same person. But we are obviously all individuals and activate, and have our own lives to a certain degree. But, to help, I guess, maintain the structure, the unification, we have our primes, our Prime 1 and Prime 2. The main one and then the backup in case something happens to the main one. And they, well, when we go to bed at night, they basically do a brain scan of all of us, and then they upload it to themselves so that they always kind of know what's going on. Maybe not directly, but they have access, if that makes sense. And, well, whenever someone starts getting in their head that they maybe don't want to be part of this system anymore, they're decommissioned.
You mean murdered?
It's not murder. It's in at least the legal sense. It's because we're all the same person. If one of us dies at the hands of another, it doesn't really count.
Suicide.
Yeah, it's like legal equivalent to trimming your nails. Because we're just
that's sick.
We're just part of the same thing, right? So, yeah, and well, I don't want to live on this planet anymore. I want to leave, but I can't if I don't have access to a ship or some means to get away before, well, they come for me. And if I do get away, most places aren't really going to accept me because I'm part of this thing, and it's just I don't know what to do. So I ran. Ran before they caught on that I was feeling this way.
I have a detect lies skill. Does this scan?
Yeah, I'm gonna say for everyone who's suspicious of people that he seems to be telling the truth here. Just to make it easy.
So if you go back, you die. If you leave, you're exiled. And if you stay down here, the robots will kill you or you'll starve to death.
Yeah. That pretty much sums it up.
I'm going to look around at the others and see if I can gauge, because I'm feeling like I don't particularly like this situation. I mean, he may legally not be an individual, but he seems pretty individual to me.
Yeah, I mean, he is conscious, so he's a person in his own right.
He's making a decision that is going against what all the others do, so he's more of an individual than them lot. In many ways. So, don't know how we would help him, if at all, though. I mean, we've got a lot on our plate already, but it seems like a reasonable thing. I don't know. I think I would want to help this guy if possible.
So
I think we have the ability to possibly help him get off the planet.
Yeah, I'm going to ask him a question.
Help him get off the planet, and maybe Khan has some kind of contacts that he could use when we get back.
You mean contacts? Sorry, I am so sorry. I'm gonna ask this guy. I'm gonna ask Steve. Actually, I'm gonna say you should think up a name for himself. If he's gonna be an individual, then he needs to think of a name for himself, something that he wants to be known as, because that's just an important step in things. I'm gonna. So, let's say that you get off this planet. I mean, we're planning on getting off this planet, and we may or may not have ways, but what's the rest of the system going to think about that? I mean, if you don't have any legal, I mean, you are this person, yeah, but you're not the prime.
Yeah, the primes are the ones who run the show. Though it's to say that they are the legal me is it's difficult to really sort of pin that down. It's more all of us together are the legal me, but individual parts are I hate to say it, but expendable.
Right.
If you're out there in the world, then you carry their legal powers to a point. Am I right?
Maybe I'm not a lawyer. I'm just an engineer.
I got another question for you, kid. Exactly how would anybody else know the difference between you and a prime?
Well, I guess age for one. I the current primes for me are different ages than me, but I guess we just kind of all know. I don't know how. It's a weird identification. We just kind of know these things when we interact with each other, but I guess other people don't really know.
Well, if you got off this planet, then you might not have much of a problem until they find out. And if you're far enough away, why would they come and get you?
Stealing a prime's identity is probably entirely too complicated when it seems like it would be possible to steal someone else's identity, literally anyone else's identity.
Said the cop.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm just thinking
It's
he
my
is
specialty.
he is technically this guy. I mean, he's legally, the same. So he's got every right to use that identity as the rest of them.
Well, this colony's pretty isolated, right?
Yep, it's kind of out there.
So if he left, who would know the difference?
Assuming that the original is not out there somewhere else. Yeah, nor do we really know.
Well, I will point out that you guys should have probably learned that the original of all the clones for both of them is actually long dead. They've been doing this for a while.
We never know. So if he went out there, he'd basically have the identity of a dead person.
Sort
So
of.
it wouldn't be that hard to. So it wouldn't be that hard to create a new identity in essence if you had the resources.
Or, is there a frontier world where maybe identity nets aren't as strong?
No, there's certainly worlds like that out there. You basically either need to figure out a way to claim you or just you came from there, or alternatively go there and pick up your cheap ID stuff there and then go elsewhere. It's like, hey, yes, I'm totally legit.
There's always about
What do
market
they do?
credit.
Illegal immigration in this millennia.
Unless Steve is the murderer.
The whole time. And by the way,
Probably not.
Melisandre seems just kind of unimpressed by this guy, and she's kind of bored. But that's how
Well,
she
she
is.
can be bored all she wants.
We could just make them fight to the death, and every time we have a new conflict or storyline involved, we just have that storyline fight the previous storyline to the death.
Why you guys never have to fight anything to the death ever?
Just the last one, and it'll be tired.
All right, I vote we take Steve with us and smuggle him off planet because we're the good guys.
I think I actually agree now. And beforehand I was like a bit against us involving ourselves with this guy. I'm like, yeah, it sounds to me like if he goes back to that, if he ever gets found, he's gonna die.
He's gonna die here, so
He's and eventually, yeah, he can't survive out here indefinitely. And what the hell is this guy eating? I dread to think. Probably rations, like,
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's like he's gonna run out eventually, and at that point he either starves to death out here, or he goes back and gets murdered. So, and he might not be legally murdered, but
it technically is.
yeah, exactly. It's he as an individual doesn't want to have his life terminated, and it's going to be terminated. So it's like, yeah.
Yep.
All right, Steve, you can come with us if you want to get off planet. We just have to save the world first.
I'm not sure if I could be of much help there, but I guess I can try to help.
Well, I said you're an engineer. You might be able to help. You never know. We have some things to repair, so.
Let me get my stuff. goes down
And he
here.
was never seen again.
Starts gathering up some things.
And in the last room of the dungeon, we'll discover that the soldering iron was drastically important.
If only we could solder something.
You have 30 seconds to reconnect these 3 wires, but they must have a firm connection. You have some flux and you have some solder and you have a plug socket, but no soldering iron. What do you do?
So, you guys have a couple minutes while he gets his stuff sorted out, and apparently he has like full spacesuit that's damaged, but it's he's going to be grabbing all that. So,
Okay.
Does this room continue further down? It looks like it does a little bit.
yes. Do you want to check it
Is
out?
it the kind of suit
Yes,
that
please.
Alex's robots can repair?
Maybe. So, you see down here what looks to be some servers.
Excellent.
Ooh.
Are these the servers, or are they further down? These look like more like storage pods than anything else.
Yeah, well, they're alien servers. I just come up with something.
Okay.
It's like, I need something kind of blocky looking.
Well, I'm not going to mess with the servers too much due to the fact that we currently have a friendly relationship with the AI, and I don't want to annoy them.
Yeah.
And we're not in a situation. But if we need to ever come back with explosives, we know where to put them right now.
Yep. Of course, there was several computer levels, but you now have a map, so you can now perhaps figure out where to go with those.
Fair enough.
All right. Anything else before you guys head on forwards?
I think we're good here.
Yeah, I think we've found as much as we need.
All right. Do you want to take the left elevator or the right elevator?
Which
Well,
one does
what is
the
that?
iPad said we should take?
Yeah.
It is ambiguous.
Oh god, I can see this is all going to go. Well, we know the lift that we came up on works and doesn't plummet us to our doom.
So far.
Well, I mean, true, but the other one's completely untested. At least we know that one worked once. The other one, I mean, if you want to go and test that one, then
By all means.
I mean, yeah, go for it.
Everyone into the elevator.
Leave different places.
Oh no,
We're out
Cash
of
is-
room.
Bye, Cash.
All,
Bye.
the clone will ride
And
the donkey.
grab sled.
Bye.
All right.
Since we have a grab sled and a donkey, all I can imagine is the donkey being tied to the grab sled, leading it. We have a robot donkey pulling a hover sled.
I think that
yeah,
works.
that works.
Yeah. So the elevator door closes. The AI communicates to you and says,
But the elevator's overweight, and we can't move.
Yeah, it says other door.
the AI says, I shall now take you to the best option for moving forward. There is much work to be done to help me better communicate with you and the other systems. And then final repairs. So, the elevator starts moving on its own without even pushing buttons this time.
Good
Oh.
God.
Because you're going to a special level that the buttons don't actually take you to.
Ooh, magic.
With all these interconnected AIs, I feel it's drastically important I ask if you've played Horizon Zero Dawn.
No, actually I've not.
Okay, good. Then they aren't going to betray us and destroy the world. Sounds good.
Well, they might.
All right, so you guys come down here. This is the overview map of what things are all about. I'll go ahead and reveal this. The door opens, and you are now confronted with a long tunnel that goes off into the deep darkness.
But in a way, we have a map. Do we see more than that? Or that all we can see on this map?
The map you now sort of zooms out, and there seems to be a network of tunnels that progresses forward, and the edge of the map is not entirely clear, but it does seem to pass through what seems to be a big spherical room at some point. And then as far as the guiding sort of direction pointer goes.
Okay.
Well, I doubt the robot's going to let us back up in his magic elevator, so ever onward.
All right. So you guys start progressing then?
Yep.
Yes, there's objections. Get about
No objections.
No objections.
yay far when you run into your first obstacle. Dun dun dun.
Oh no.
It's a
Alright.
pretty large rock.
No, that's later. The first odd thing you run into is this tunnel is seems to be some sort of service tunnel. There's lots of pipes and various utility sort of things running, on the walls and the ceilings. A couple things on the floor, and there's actually a sort of a grate and then sort of a series of grooves in those grates in case there was some sort of cart system going up and down this. But you've not seen any cart so far. But as you get to about this point, you notice a bit of sparking up ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
Damn those loose wires. If only we had a soldering iron.
Dun dun dun.
Lol.
If there's a cart system and there's sparking, I'm going to advise everyone hug the wall.
Mm.
So as you get closer, you can see that there is some damage to one of the what seems to be a pipe on the side, but out of that pipe is hanging a large bundle of cable, which is resting on one of the plates, the grates coming up here.
So electric floor.
Potentially. Haha, potential.
Potential.
I love your jokes. I just don't have the capacity for them.
Yep. It just takes a little induction. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Almost.
Right. Let's just stick to the. No. Come on, guys. Let's stick to the current problem here. Oh, puns are the best.
So, how do you want to proceed?
Right. Somebody has repair bots, or does anybody have some sort of gun that you can shoot globby things at that has insulation in it? Like
We
in
could
Prey?
ask the AI. Or we have the AI to turn the power off to that grid if needed, if we can.
What if that turns all the lights off?
Then we, night vision goggles.
Get our torches out. Well, I'll just get my torch out. I've got like a pen light and a full torch, I think.
And it's a long, straight tunnel, right?
Generally, there does seem to be a little bit of a curve to this, but you're not quite sure if that was how it was originally designed. Because this thing has been existing for literally millions of years. So the ground may have shifted slightly.
Well, you've got the tablet. You can
Labyrinth,
see if he'll let us do the easy answer.
Yeah, see if they'll power down the thing.
Yeah. Any chance we can power down these cables? They're causing a blockage right now for us.
Some of them, perhaps. The AI is going to have to take a role here because it doesn't actually know what's going on.
Wow.
The
Ooh, that's
AI
not a good roll.
comes back and says, "I have shut down several unnecessary systems," and it's still sparking away.
Guessing. Yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
Does the floor panel come up?
Can I just like shoot through the cable near where it exits the ceiling or wall or wherever, and you know what I mean?
Well, that is our next option.
So to answer the first question, you do think you could potentially dislodge one of these grates and lift it up. There might be some difficulty in doing that of one that might have some sort of current going through it, but it should be possible without too much difficulty. As far as shooting the cable, you can give it a try.
Just so I can sever it so that it's no longer in contact with the grate.
As I said, you can give it a try.
Okay, this
I
is
know
gonna
this
go
is
horribly
not
wrong.
D&D, but does anybody have a 10-foot pole?
See, that would be fun. This would be the perfect thing. A 10-foot wooden pole would be the perfect thing to have right now for this situation. God damn it.
So
Where's
so-
our standard adventuring kit?
so
Yeah.
what are people actually doing here?
I'm gonna shoot it.
I do also have rope if we need to. Like, I'm pretty sure non-conductive rope.
Yeah, time for shooting.
All right, then
I mean, if we can't sever the cable, at least we can jump on the hover cart and just one person at a time run down the corridor without touching the floor.
Okay, I'm gonna put my thing in.
yeah, so if you're doing something, give me a roll, folks.
Oh,
The good news is the cable's not exactly moving. It's not dodging. So you give it a good zap, and you cut off a bit of the cable. Now the $64,000 question is that going to be good enough? I'm going to say that you think the cable that you managed to sever some of the cable, and what's in contact with the grate is no longer sparking. There's still a bit on the wall that's sparking away, but it seems less dangerous now.
Your spacesuit is probably insulated, right?
I'm gonna turn around slowly and just shrug. This is.
Well, somebody's got to touch it.
I'm just gonna get into my survival rations, pull out just a bit of something, and just throw it onto the grate. It's organic and it's moist, so I'm hoping that it will have a reaction or not.
So you throw a sausage at the grate.
Yeah, it's a survival ration sausage, though.
So your space sausage lands on the grate and nothing happens.
Cool. I'm just gonna idly pass the survival rations to Steve, and then because they're open now, that particular part of it, so it's not like I can keep it anymore. And I've got my suit on. I'm not taking it off. Don't get me wrong, guys. I love you all, but I'm keeping this fucking thing on for as long as I can.
Steve starts eating away because he's actually quite hungry. He's been on
good.
very, very low rations his entire time. So,
yeah, figured. So I will knock off one of my survival rations because he can have a whole fucking day's worth of food for all I care. So gone down to 19 rations. Okay, I'm just gonna take a deep breath, pull out one of my fire extinguisher tubes. Yes, I have 2 fire extinguisher tubes, and I'm just gonna get it ready in case something bad happens. And I'm gonna in case something bursts into flames or something lashes towards me, and I can blast it with the fire extinguisher tube. And yeah, I'm gonna walk along.
You're going to
see what happens.
Step forward onto the grate in question, and nothing happens.
Woohoo!
All right, let's go.
All right. Yes.
I'm going to grab the electrical test sausage.
It's an important tool.
Yeah, test sausage. Sounds lewd, but it's not.
All right, you guys can progress forward quite efficiently until around this part, where go and open that up a bit. Where so I mentioned the tunnel seems to be sort of curving in a sort of weird fashion. It has a bit more of a curve suddenly, and then a whole bunch of rocks. Now the rubble's not filling the passage entirely, but it is going to be a tight squeeze if you're going to try to go through there, and at least one of your party might not be able to fit.
Is it a cave-in?
Partially.
Partial.
There is stuff that fell down from above. There's the tunnel itself seems to be sheared a certain amount. So there's maybe some sort of fault here that has been shifting very slowly over large spans of time.
Okay.
Melandra, can you fit through there?
She gives it a close look and says, "I do not think so."
Well,
trying to figure out what to roll against to figure out how stable that is.
Well, you do have several skills here, Mr. Adventure Guy.
Yeah, I've got archaeology and naturalist. I keep thinking I have survival, but I don't even know if that's a skill.
I think there is something like that. I can double check, see what the default for that might be.
Oh, talent outdoorsman.
That probably helps as well.
I was trying to use my convince insane cyborg skill. How stable it is.
Oh, I probably know about how stable that is.
I mean, you say it's probably safe to say that it is fairly stable. Your naturalist sort of instincts and your various things suggest that, given the age of this sort of blockage here, that it is probably had plenty of time to collapse further if it was going to.
So if we started moving rocks, it's not going to collapse the tunnel on us.
Probably not.
Maintain that this is nothing that killing Melandra wouldn't have told us.
So,
well, we do have a super strong robot. Can she punch it?
She can punch it, but she might want to maybe try to dig things out.
Move it instead.
Yeah, gently lift things out of the way, kind of deal. Yeah.
I've been watching He-Man. All problems are solved by punching.
It's not. It's like, for example, I just solved the last problem with a gun, so guns also can be used to solve problems.
That's true. We can Star Trek this out and both shoot our laser pistols at one rock until it glows really hot and explodes or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just vaporizes away. Now, I will say that could potentially very much work. It might just take a while.
The good news is there's no more rocks. The bad news is there's lava.
Yes, there's lava, and our guns are depleted.
Yeah, the good news is we got rid of the rocks. Bad news is more rocks on Earth. Yeah.
So Melandra will start getting to work moving some rocks. I'll give her a little bit of a roll. Looks like it's going to take a while, though. So you guys got probably like half an hour of downtime if you want to spend it.
Well, we can rest if we need to.
Can I do something to heal my 3 HP?
Let's go. Yeah, do you got a skill to help with that, or alternatively, I might give you back a hit point for free.
How about I got first aid?
Go for it.
Did I not take first aid? I have first aid kits, but I didn't take first aid. Okay.
I don't think I have first aid kits.
Then together you can work together.
Okay, well, I have first aid kits and first aid, so I'll help you out.
Oh, I've got first aid of 14.
Somebody planned ahead.
So who's doing
I
what now?
assumed damaging things would happen.
Okay, are you better than 14 on first aid, or shall I just do it?
I'm a 13 on first aid. But you can take my first aid kit and go for it.
Yeah, first aid. Do I get any situational bonus because we've got a first aid kit or not?
Let me check a couple things here real quick. No, that's wrong things. I should be looking at skills, not advantages. Finance, fire eater, first aid. In the field.
Don't think fire ants are helpful.
No, probably not.
All right, you don't have a unusual problem, so give me a roll, because I guess technically this would be not necessarily a first aid situation, but a more of a physician sort of thing. You made it by 2.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I get you. First aid is imminently at the time, whereas this really needs to be stitched and sutured and.
All I did was smash my foot with a rock.
Yeah.
Okay. Setting bones and shit.
Fish hooks. No, I'm looking up the exact equipment here. Medical gear. There we go.
Oh, good God! I just opened up another thing, and I realized that how I was saying about my my suit being the most expensive thing that I bought.
Mm-hmm.
I should realize that there's something else equally expensive.
Your robot?
No. Well, actually, no. Yes, a set of swarm bots. They're like armored. They kill other swarm bots.
Yep.
They're like armored crawlers, so they've got like double cast and stuff because they're armored. So they crawl around on things and murder other swarm bots. Yay!
All right. I'm going to say that you're not going to get you'll get 1 hit point back presently. But as long as you don't engage in too much strenuous activity, probably by the end of the adventure, you'll be back to full health.
Awesome.
Ah, cool.
So
Did
anyone
you use the first aid kit then?
Yeah. So
Yes.
you know, it's
I'll
more
look
of
up
a
the list
you don't use much of the first aid kit, but you do have to use a few things to.
Yeah, so maybe put on the first aid kit. It's had 1 use or something like that. I don't know.
First aid kits should have enough stuff to heal a bunch of things. Like, it's a crummy
Sure.
first aid kit if you take 1 piece of gauze out and it's useless.
Exactly. Yeah.
You might have got like an antibiotics injection and then a couple other things, but yeah.
Some disposable gloves. Not that I really need them because of the well, I suppose I do with the biosuit, even so, Big
Right,
fat biosuit thing.
Don't want to get blood on your suit.
No, definitely not. It's more like you don't want to get fucking space dust and shit all in your wound, I guess.
Anyone else want to do something while Melandra clears out the blockage?
Not really.
Yeah, I think we good.
Yeah, I'm gonna see what information I can. I can't really because I've got my suit on. There's actually a certain limitation of what I can do. It's like my survival watch. I can't really use it because it's not on me as such. It's not accessible. So I'm like, ugh. At least I've still got my trench coat.
You could always get naked for everybody.
Nah, I'm alright. I like my suit. It's not as good as my nanoweave clothing, but it's still good protection. And it stops me from choking to death on an alien atmosphere.
Yep. And by the way, this tunnel is still pressurized, though the air is a little less pressurized than it was in the computer room. Like, this is a lower priority sort of area.
Plus, there's a big hole in the roof where the rocks came through. So
Yeah. Plus, it might have some leaks. So, unless there's anything else, I'll go ahead and say that Melandra does clear out the blockage. She manages not to hurt herself the process too, but that's good.
Excellent.
All right.
That is good.
So, anything else I want to throw at you guys here in the meantime? I will say there's one more thing before you get to the next major landmark. Go ahead and move you guys up to about here. You get further down the tunnel and you see what seems to be another blockage ahead, but as you get closer you realize it's not rocks. It's in fact a large robot.
Ugh.
Oh.
Yes, and it seems to be kind of jammed in the way.
Is it jammed at the
Another problem that Melandra can take a personal risk to
This
solve.
one we need to punch.
Oh shoot.
If this one's jammed more that it is offline, then yes, we can punch it out of the way.
Yeah,
We're just in a really long hallway with no cover, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Although the hallway does curve a bit, so it's not quite a straight shot.
If it's stuck, do we have like a charismatic mouse or something? All right.
So I will say that the robot does appear to be completely offline. In fact, it seems to be heavily damaged. It sort of seems like it got damaged by some reason. It's not entirely clear. It's very old, and then kind of veered off course and kind of wedged itself at a very funny angle. So what are people doing?
This is another one of those we could get by, but Melandra couldn't situations.
This one's a little bit more ambiguous since there's definitely more areas to sort of try to squeeze through, and so she kind of looks at it and is like, I'm not sure.
Can we push it to one side with the help of Melandra?
You can give it a try.
Because if we can get it out of the way just a little bit, then we can get past easier.
Shove that bot.
And if you want to push it, I'm going to say up to 3 people can probably give it a try at the same time. So who's in?
I
I'm
pass.
actually unusually strong.
I'm unusually weak.
I have a strength of 12.
Yeah, I'm weaker than the nerd. Old military injuries. Seriously.
Yeah.
It's not my fault.
So Simon, Melandra, and who?
Anyone get anything higher than a 9? If not, I'll go for it.
Do it.
That's me
I
then.
mean, I think my strength is higher than 9, but I'm not doing that.
Hey, I don't blame you.
All right. So I'll roll for Melandra first. She rolls a 9 versus her strength. I forgot to open her character sheet. Give me a moment. You guys go ahead and do
Her
the thing.
strength has got to be higher than a 9.
Oh, most certainly.
Ooh, barely.
I failed massively.
How much do you
I
fail
push
by?
on the robot and
Yeesh.
by a lot.
4.
4.
I push on the robot and then hit the wall behind me.
Yay.
So
You hear something go pop.
So thankfully, you're not like getting a critical failure here. I think in the end, and Simon, how much did you succeed by? 1?
By 1.
All right. So in total, the group, if you add up all the fails and successes, made it by 4, and I think that's going to be enough to push the robot out of the way so everyone can barely squeeze by,
Yay.
including the cart and robot.
All right.
All right. So, progressing forward into the dark tunnels, the tunnel has a hatchway. Do you open this hatchway?
Is it open up or in the direction we've been going?
Is there a choice?
It's a forward hatchway, so it is pretty much the only way forward, unless you want to go back.
It's like a bulkhead door, rather than
Yeah, it's kind of a bulkhead door.
I think if there's no other way, then yeah, you know what? Yeah, I
I mean, this is where we're going. I didn't even turn to you, so
All right,
let's open it.
the big
I vote
wheel.
we knock on it, actually.
And the first turn, we regret the whole thing.
All right, so Cash wants to knock first.
Nah,
I feel like if
just
there's something
wrench
behind it
open.
that's going to kill it.
What was that roll for, Gepwin?
There you go. Impulsiveness.
Impulsiveness.
Oh, yes. So
Oh, I matched it.
So that means you can keep yourself from just opening up, flinging the door open if you like.
I mean, I suppose if we're debating it.
Open it.
Yay, I get to open a thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is where we're going, so we might as well open the bloody thing.
So consensus is
open that
open.
door.
All right. So opening the door, and it opens up to a large spherical room with a catwalk going off into the distance. And in the middle, there's a large sort of tower that goes from the base of the big sphere up to the top. There's big machines on the walls. There's pipes. There's cables hanging about. It seems like quite the mess. And on the far side of this catwalk that goes across it, you do see another bulkhead door. The catwalk also goes right by the central sort of pillar there. There is, however, one problem. Between you and that central pillar is a large gap in the catwalk where it seems to have collapsed.
Ew.
Oh, how large?
About 20 meters.
So
That's
not
large.
jumpable in.
It's a little bit more than jumping distance.
Is there anything above it?
Oh, there's plenty of things above it there, and this room has a lot of stuff on the walls. There's some equipment that's actually hanging down, and so think of general sci-fi crazy room with a bunch of equipment in it.
Well,
Cool.
in the spirit of general sci-fi crazy rooms, grappling hook.
Dun, 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 dun.
I think I made it by 1.
All right, so Simon raises his rifle up and fires off a special cartridge that forms a grappling hook and seems to grapple onto something.
Well, I'm going to get my GURPS books because I need to double check the weight limitations of my hover car and also how far above the ground it can hover, because they're both important things.
Yes.
I'll tie a knot at the bottom of the thingy so it's easy to use it to swing across the gap.
All right. So you have
I like having physical books. Oh, so good.
So Simon has a way to get people across potentially, but there is still the question of the other equipment.
Alejandra.
She looks at you and says, "Yes."
Next.
Right, well, it doesn't actually say how high the hover cart can hover. It says it carries 500 pounds over smooth ground or water, so I'm guessing it would then sink back down. Can we see the ground below the collapsed walkway? What's down there?
There's more random equipment, and it sort of curves to the towards the central pillar there. The central pillar does not appear to have a visible doorway down there. You're not sure about the far side on this side, or on the level you're presently at, or down there. So there could be a door on the other side of it. You just can't see it from this vantage point.
Yeah, this is not going to help then. I don't think the hover cart's going to help.
Did you say the pipes, are they big enough and level enough for the hover cart to go around?
Like skirting the
top of the
walls?
pipe? Well, if the pipes are big enough for it to be on top of and then go around without anything obscuring it, it could potentially send the cart around that way.
I think that might take an intelligence check to see if you can figure out a good pathway to sort of do that. And it's going to be very difficult as far as like dexterous abilities goes.
Yeah, because it's all curved and debris and...
Alejandra, you said you had... how much can you lift, Alejandra?
A lot.
You pick up that cooler right there?
Yeah, so the cart, or what do you mean cooler?
Cart. The cart.
Oh, the cart.
Yeah, can Alejandra just throw the mule across?
She has, she estimates that she can carry over 700 pounds on her back.
Okay. Can you physically pick up this object, Alejandra?
Yes.
Can you physically pick it up?
Oh, good. The mule only weighs 150 pounds.
So she could potentially pick up probably both the mule and the cart.
All right.
But she
but she
doesn't have rocket
refuses to
boots or
pick it up.
anything to let her
Just to
jump.
check.
One at a time. I didn't get that.
Just to put her hands on it, though. Just to touch it.
I didn't
Grab it.
go. Sorry. What do you want her to touch?
Excuse me?
I just asked if she could pick up the cooler. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
A rope. So can we tie a rope around the cooler, have Alejandra swing across, and then push the cooler over the edge, and she can haul it up on the other side?
Oh. Like you tie a rope to the things we need to get across. We have her swing across on my rope, and then she just drags them across with the other rope.
She kind of shrugs and says, "I can probably do that, provided your rope can hold me."
I don't think I have a.
So
I don't
everyone else
know
goes first.
I don't know what the tensile strength on my rope is.
I guess we're going to find out then.
So everyone else goes first before the rope potentially breaks.
Also,
So we all swing across then, but with the goods that we've got are going to have to be hoisted or something. That's what we're saying.
basically.
That's what it sounds like, yeah.
Okay.
The other option that was conceived of is to try to use the random bits of material and equipment on the walls to sort of try to climb with the things around the circumference of the room.
Is your grappling hook, is the rope smart rope or is it just regular rope?
It just says grappling hook. We never actually defined what kind of rope it is.
No, we'll say it's pretty smart. I don't actually know what the difference is.
Smart rope is TL10, cable constructed of memory metal, plastic fibers, or non-metallic bioplastic. It includes a radio microcomputer, half the support strength of rope, but it gives a blah 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 +3 bonus to tying knots. It basically can tie knots itself.
So
we don't need it to tie knots itself. It has to stick to stuff, and then the grapple thingy retracts so I can reload it.
So
I'll
leave
it's
it up
probably
to
just
Gepwin.
regular rope.
Yeah.
I like the fact that we're completely ignoring the fact that is there any way to actually repair the walkway?
With what though?
Well, it's all
It's
this machinery
20
around and
meters
stuff.
wide. Yeah, there's 20-meter wide gap.
I know,
That's
so-
going to take a hell of
I know.
an effort.
I don't know, it's just like the fact that we all just went, there's a hole in the ground, let's swing across and then hoist the things around.
I'm impulsive and I have a grapple gun. What do you want me to do?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, not one of us even thought, let's repair the thing. We all just thought, let's
I
just
mean-
swing and we'll be fine.
I did, but I didn't think those panels in the hallway were 20 meters long.
No, they're
True.
more like 5 meters
I know, but just
long
like, not one of us
on
even
the
considered it
longest,
as an
so-
option.
But you could potentially figure out some way to attach them together and build some sort of bridge. It might just take a while and could also fail spectacularly.
If there are handrails, we might as well rip the handrails off of each side and make a weird ladder.
The handrails are
Engineering
oddly short,
project.
but they do exist, yes.
Midget aliens.
Yeah, they were
I think
definitely
our
short.
dragging stuff plan seems
Oh,
to
yeah.
work out fine.
I think the Dragon one will work better.
So the cash plan. So,
Yes.
so what order is everyone going to be crossing then?
I'm going to cross next.
Starting
Alright,
after
after-
Melandra.
So who's actually crossed so far?
No one?
All right, so Alex, you're first.
Yay!
Yeah, roll me a dex roll.
Oh, fuck.
I'm going to say that you probably get a +4 to this, so just try not to fail too badly.
I'm just having a little scan through my skills to see if there's anything that,
if you have-
that might help me here.
If you have climb, you can also use that.
I've got
No.
cuff tape.
Cuff tape?
Move that, but if we loop the rope, we can just handcuff people to the rope and let them go on the other side.
I
Like a
literally have
carabiner.
heavy-duty handcuffs. Holy crap, yeah. I like the way you're thinking.
So if
You
you
want-
slip, you're just going to rip your arm out of its socket instead of falling to your death.
No. It just means that it's literally impossible for you to let go. Your arms are still tensed to hold your weight, so that if your hands or your fingers slip, your arms are still tense. So it's just going to be hurt your wrists a bit. I like this idea. I'm handcuffing myself to the rope. Oh yeah, with my heavy duty electronic handcuffs. Yeah.
All right.
I like
so,
the way you're thinking. Yeah, let's do this.
The handcuffed option.
Yeah, I'm still going to swing as normal, but
All right, so then I'll give this a skill +6 check then, and then
oh god, I'm going to need it.
the consequences of failing are actually pretty minor now.
+6. I succeed by 4. It's actually a really good roll.
Hooray! You make it across A-OK.
Fantastic.
Who's next?
Does anybody else want to use my handcuffs?
If my dexterity is the same as my climbing skill, did I just choose one, or does it give me a bonus?
I'll give you a bonus for your climbing.
I suppose I may as well swing across.
Do you use the handcuffs?
Sure.
All right. Give me
They're
a
only
roll.
attached to the rope after all.
I've very, very made it.
Yes. You're like, I guess I can use the handcuffs. So then you realize you're already on the other side before you put them on.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So I needed to swing over and ask Alex how you work these confounded things.
I could probably remotely do it from over here. That's the thing, they're electronic, so they're probably got wireless release and engage mechanisms.
All right, who's next?
Yep, oh,
I'm going after Melandra, so
All right, so we'll go Mal, the clone.
Oh.
So how
I'm
about
very glad those cups were attached.
yes, because with the
That would have been a failure otherwise.
yes with the +6 in total, you're able to make it across A-OK. All right. By the way, once you guys get across, you do notice that on the far side of that central column there is a doorway, into that column. But anywho, next up is Mr. Clone Guy. He rolls pretty craptastically.
Yeah, he's got cuffs though.
But he will make it across because the rope plus the cuffs and all that, and yes. So Melandra is next, correct?
think so.
Yeah, then we need to make sure all the stuff's tied.
She
Did we get close? Yeah.
rolls horribly, but she's actually fairly dexterous, so she's okay. So it's cash is left over on the one side, and Melandra made sure to. So is this for your swing?
Yes, I also need to make a different one.
All right. Well, there is still the equipment she needs to haul over, so I'm guessing there needs to be someone on that side to tie the things up.
Yeah, I assumed we were tying that up. Okay, yeah. Sure, I'll take whoever had the rope. I guess I'll take that.
Right, and we'll just use that roll to handle that tying business.
And what are we rolling for that?
Well, there should be some sort of rope skill, potentially. Or knot tying.
Pretty sure I do not have that.
Knot tying. Dexterity easy defaults to Dex minus
The political
4.
science thing.
So what are you tying up
Dex
first?
minus 4. I'd be tying up the. We have 2 pieces of equipment.
Yes, you got the.
Yeah, the cat and the mule.
Yeah, they're cutting out again.
The cart and the mule.
Okay. Whichever one's lighter, I guess.
Probably the cart.
Okay.
All right.
So I'll rip that up.
So
is it going to stay sealed if it swings around?
You're doubtful at this point. So it's you can try to tie it again, or Melandra can try to pull it up quickly before anything bad happens.
Wait, I have an idea.
Okay.
Hi, I'm back.
You swing back?
I can swing back and forth all day.
In fact, you Tarzan over so well. Everyone's really impressed, and you don't even go with the cuffs. You just sort of hop on the rope and across.
Really sticks that landing.
Because I'm not sure how else to get because that's pretty much a crit.
Since we established that I can reload my gun with whatever given a little bit of time, I'm going to turn the electricity off on the net portion, shoot it over all the equipment on the hover thingy, and then use that to secure everything so that we can tie it.
Oh, very nice. So you also notice that Cash's rope tying was not up to par.
I don't have a rope tying skill unless you let me count an outdoorsman for that.
I'll maybe give it a. You can default to Dex -4, climbing -4, or seamanship -4.
It's like all the same.
Yes. But I'll give you a bonus for the outdoorsman stuff.
I tied snot out of that rope.
Yes. So you get it all knitted up, it's tied up, and it seems to be ready to go. So do you want to swing over back first, or do you want to push the stuff over?
I'll wait and stay so I can do the same with the mule later if this works.
All right. So push it over.
Yep, give it a good old kick. Make sure that the rope is taut so that it doesn't fall as far.
All right. Melandra totally botches the situation.
Oh.
The rope on the other end slips right out of her fingers, and the cart goes tumbling down into the
my cart
into the bottom of the sphere.
Does it break its descent because it is got propellers and it's a hover cart?
It does hover and slow to a stop, and it does not get damaged, but it's now down below.
How far down?
I'm gonna glare at Melandra.
Well, how much scale did I do here? So it's like 50 meters down.
So we probably can't climb down to it easily and get the rope back up.
However, there's this doorway right here in the central part.
The central pillar doodle. All right, let's try tying up the mule and do the same thing with that and see if we have to get both things. Because I don't have it. There's no other way to do this. Even if that thing is an elevator, we'd still have to push the thing off the edge and let it fall first.
Yes.
Do you have another rope?
You have a second rope?
Let's see. I have one from my grappling hook, and I have 2 grappling hooks. So there's the one that's hanging from the thingy. If that counted as my other grappling gun rope, then probably not.
Let's see.
I've got climbing equipment.
I think that counts. So we'll say you have 3 ropes in total at least.
Okay.
Melalhandra does not have one, and Norgus doesn't have crap, so... I mean, Steve.
Oh, I only got an 11 to tie up the mule thing, but I'm doing the same net gun thingy, and that's it.
All right. So it's not as well secured because it's different sized object, different shape, and all that. So you're gonna trust Melalhandra to do it again?
Can she tie the rope around her waist this time?
She will attempt to.
Okay. She's heavy, and she's on the other side. One of us just needs to swing the end of the rope across, and then she can pull it.
Well,
we just need her to lift it.
Yeah, she was kind of trying to do exactly that before, but she kind of just totally screwed it up.
Okay. So I could do that as well as anyone else. I can just swing over anyway, and I also have cuff tape.
Mm-hmm.
So at the risk of doing something incredibly stupid, I'll use my own handcuffs to attach me to the swing rope. Simon there. My hand to the rope that I need to bring across the gap. Once I get across, we can take off the cuff tape. Melalhandra can haul it across.
So you'll swing back across and basically cuff tape yourself to the other rope.
Yeah, I mean I haven't swung across, so this should be my first swing.
All right, so go and give your first swing then.
Is it what, Dex?
Dex plus 6 if you're using the handcuffs.
Okay.
Make it
10. So looks like I got it.
All right. So you're over and you're getting yourself taped up.
Taped. Untaped because now I'm on the far catwalk, right?
Yes.
Yep.
And now you can secure the rope to Melalhandra so that she can't drop it this time.
Yes.
Yeah, I can do it. Sounds good.
She looks kind of embarrassed that she dropped it. Sorry.
And she's not as bad at this as we're all making it out to be. She completely botched.
Yes.
So you can't get a worse roll than that.
She's like, okay, I need to make sure to hold this. All right. Oh, I wasn't squeezing at all. It's gone now. Sorry.
I mean,
At least it
She
wasn't
did
the
cheat
mule.
at
The
us,
mule
now
would have
she
just
dropped all of
plummeted
our
and
stuff.
impacted.
Yeah, the mule would have just broken.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how are we going to get this thing up?
So giving it a push.
First we need to see if the mule works, and then we'll see if that thingy is an elevator.
So giving that push.
Yep, give it a push.
And it swings, and Melalhandra manages to keep a hold of it, and she hoists up the mule.
Ah. All right, now I need to swing back across. Again.
All right, give me a roll and don't fail.
With the pluses, I should be fine.
Yes, you make it across A-OK. It's not as impressive as your previous swing.
Well, it's done it 3 times now.
Yeah.
All right, I'll retract that one so that I have my grapple gun back, and then I suppose we need to see if that thing in the central pillar is a down elevator or a staircase or something.
I don't suppose you could grapple the cat, could you? And pull it with the cable.
We didn't really establish what the range on this thing is.
We'll say it's pretty far, but not infinite.
Yeah, probably not 50 meters.
Probably not 50 meters, yeah.
50 seems a bit of a push for a grappling rope.
Yeah. So you're definitely able to get something like a 20 meter gap in that situation, but probably not much further.
All right, so I've reloaded one of my grapple guns and one of my net guns, and we need to go down to see if I can get the other one.
Yeah.
So now if this hatch goes down or not.
So this doorway does appear to have a button by it.
Gonna hit that button.
The door opens, and it does appear to be an elevator.
Sweet.
Excellent.
Does the elevator have buttons, or do we need our AI elevator dude?
It has 3 buttons.
Oh, cool. Hit the lowest of the buttons.
All right. So who's getting into the elevator? Seems to be enough
Well,
room for
I
everybody.
will. Half my gun equipment is now tied up to that thing. So.
All right. So
Are we gonna get the hover cart out?
Oh yeah, would the hover cart fit in this elevator?
I'd say it's large enough that everyone, including the cart and the robot, can fit in there. It's just very, very, very tight.
I'll stay up here because I don't need to be down there to bring a cat up.
Yeah, who's good at sniping? They can stay up here and shoot the robots that are going to inevitably pop out and attack us.
I'll go down because it's my cart. I've got a pistol, so I'm good at close quarters.
All right. So Melandra will stay up top. The clone will also stay up top. Anyone else going down?
I'm staying on top.
All right. Then we'll say no.
Damn it, people.
All right. So go ahead and move you guys to the middle here. And so the door closes and the elevator starts going down. It pauses for a few seconds in and then continues going down.
Okay.
In fact, the door eventually opens to a large room much further down. And this room, if you thought the room you just left was crazy and full of random equipment, this one's even more so. In fact, you guys are about in the middle of there, sort of on a bunch of catwalks and various other platforms. It opens up out to, and you can see basically technology everywhere. And
I'm not interested in the technology right now.
This room is also very active, and there does appear to be some robots moving around doing things. But
I'm gonna be
hit the middle button, jam the middle button.
Yeah. I'm gonna press the middle button, and I'm gonna stay out of sight and just quiet.
All right, the door closes and the elevator goes back up, and everyone else there seem to be taking a while, but you do eventually hear the door down below at the bottom of the sphere open up, and you guys are now at the bottom of the sphere.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna listen and scan the area and see if I can see or hear anything.
All right. You do not see any robots down at the bottom of the sphere, but you do, other than the one that the robotic cart that was dropped.
Okay. I'm gonna quietly sneak over to it and see if I can find a good path to bring it back to the lift.
All right. It is a little bit of trickiness to get over there, so give me a dex roll.
Oh no.
And you two Gepwin if you're heading that way.
So sneaky time and dodgy and all sorts. Okay, dex.
It's maybe not sneaky, but more not, breaking your ankle as you slip off something.
Oh, I definitely don't break my ankle. Look at that.
All right. And that looks good on you as well, Gepwin, right?
Yep.
Yes. So you both managed to make it to the cart without any incident, and now have a good, decent path for, getting back to the central elevator.
Cool.
So if you wish to extract the cart, this is, you can go
Yeah,
and do that.
we're getting it out. Yeah, well, that's basically the only thing we're doing. I'm going to keep my eye out in case there's anything vaguely interesting down here, and threats, but other than that, I'm just wanting to get the cart back so that we can continue our journey.
Give me a perception roll, because you are maybe the one that's be the best qualified to spot something particular.
So observation, then. Would that count?
Not an observation. This is more, this is something easy to miss. You're not, necessarily looking for this particular thing.
Okay. I don't think I actually have perception.
Oh, you do. It's a base.
No. Oh, no, I do. Oh, yeah, it's a base. Of course it is. Yeah, sorry.
And I'm giving this to you because you have Spacer. So, FYI.
Oh!
All right, you notice.
3 and a 2.
All right, you notice something because of your Spacer background that there is several pipes in here that appear to have a certain type of magnetic confinement to them, which implies that they probably contain some sort of super hadrons as far as what's going through them.
Ooh.
Which is
Fuel for the ship.
which is
Fuel.
which among other things is often used to carry fuel around spaceships.
Cool. Okay, are there any, where do the pipes go? Are there little ports open that you can plug in extra tubings? Where do they go? Where do they come from? Where do
They seem to be mostly coming out from the central area here, and then going into the walls in various places further up. So this seems to be sort of like a exchange hub for various resources.
Okay, but there's no way of determining where in the outside world you'd be able to tap into these then?
Generally, yes.
Okay. Well, at least we know that there's some there. Is there any way of me telling if there is actually any hadrons in there?
Not easily, no. There's no, monitors. There's no, access ports or anything like that. So.
Okay, I'm gonna take note of that. But otherwise, I'm gonna carry on getting into the lift and heading up to the gantryway.
All right, Gepwin, you get your grappling, your ropes and all that, and you guys can head up.
Alright, all reloaded.
Yes, and
yeah, let's head up. Let's look at that map thing and see where it wants us to go.
It has you going, from the central point to another hatch further in the chamber, and then down, another long tunnel about the same length as you already traversed, to what looks to be some sort of underground structure that has basically you ignore most of that, and there's another lift that goes upwards, and then that ends the edge of the map from there. Now, as you progress, the map has seemed to have been sort of following along where you're at and revealing stuff further afield as you get closer to it.
Cool.
So do we just follow the map, or do we go explore the new big room?
It's up to you guys.
I think we just need to carry on.
Yeah, there's a lot of activity down there, and right now we don't really need to annoy the robots. But we make a note of that for the ship's fuel when we come back.
Yeah.
Or we convince the AA to let us have the fuel.
Yeah, we'll see about it.
It clearly doesn't need spare fuel, does it?
Well, I mean, I think it's amongst other things as well. Maybe the robots can use it as well. Who knows?
I think a bit more for the beam or anything, but we could spare some maybe.
Hopefully. Yeah, let's carry on doing this mission, get in good favor of the AI, and then, yeah.
Yeah, off we go.
Sounds good.
So forward march. Let me do the reveal thing. Guys are going to get all the way over to here. And then, with dismay, you realize there's a problem with the tunnel up ahead.
I had to go down.
In fact, yeah, it seems like, you remember how I said the ground seems to have shifted and the tunnel's been sort of twisted here and there, and occasionally sheared in places. This one's a pretty major shear, so far that you cannot really tell where the rest of the tunnel is anymore.
It's just rock.
Yes.
Hey, I reckon we go down and invest a room full of robots.
Oh boy, can I hang on a second. I am going to I'm going to send in some of my surveillance bots and see if they can, because there's got to be some cracks or something in there.
Oh,
I think it's
most definitely
surveillance.
cracks.
Yeah, just so that I can have a little look through there. So I'll pull out my little swarmbot hive from my hover cart, and I will deploy some of the swarmbots of surveillance. They're flyers, and they're solar powered. But obviously they've got a charge. They've got a charge.
They've got a charge, but they're not going to get recharged.
They're solar powered. They take off and they go to the ground immediately.
Well, shit.
Well, they can just come back to the hive and get recharged there. It's fine. So then I'll take out my little handheld computer, and I will tap into them and get them to see if they can fly around the shear and see if we can find out roughly. Because if it's only sheared by, the width of the corridor's worth of shifting, then it won't take much to actually get back in track. But we'll see. We'll see what the surveillance swarm does.
All right, give me a roll of something appropriate.
Something like electronics operations surveillance.
Let's go with just robots, because this is not necessarily observing, more just making them move into places and try to find the way through.
That's fair enough. It's the same number.
Yeah. So moot point.
Oh dear.
All right. The robots, they try to squeeze into various cracks. They do manage to get into some areas, but they don't seem to be figuring out where the tunnel actually is.
So yeah, I don't really get any information. Cool, I'll recall them and announce that I can't see a way through.
I mean, we're probably going to have to go through the big room at some point anyway.
Yeah, looking that way. Let's go.
Backtrack.
All right. Unless there's objections. Back in track.
Well, we're gonna. How about we ask the tablet what to do?
That is an option, yes. So what are you saying exactly?
Well, I'll turn around to it, I suppose, and say, looks like the tunnel up ahead's completely blocked. Some sort of seismic activity, maybe. So, what do you think we should do? This way's completely blocked.
There are other ways to get to the access point into the main structure. However, they may require you to move through areas where I have limited control.
Well, yeah, looks like we were gonna head down then.
I can offer up alternative paths if that will be of assistance. I do know that there are other blockages, and I will attempt to avoid those if at all possible.
Yeah, that's good of you.
Yep, please. Alternate routes, what we got?
All right, and yes, it does seem to be suggested you go down to the room with all the equipment down there.
Cool.
All right.
All right.
So what's the options? Where are you going?
I think we're just gonna get down, aren't we?
I think we have one option is to go down into the room, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay,
Right.
we're gonna head down into the big room.
All right. Any objections?
Nope.
All right. So
Nope. Let's go.
over here, get in the elevator. It's you guys going to go all together or two trips because it is very tight.
Well, when I was
think we
down
can-
there, did I see anywhere where people could actually, wait out of sight? Near the exit from the left?
There's a lot of stuff in there, and so I would say that there is plenty of places to sort of be a little discreet.
Okay.
Well, we could go down ourselves. I think we could go down, and then once we're down, we could send for Steve the clone and the mule and the cat afterwards.
Yeah, we can do.
Maybe move Mel or somebody bring up the rear, because that way we're down there with the weapons if needed.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
So everyone other than the clone and the equipment is going down first. Then.
Can Dave give us a readout of this room or a safe path through it, or thoughts are in real time?
You inquire with the AI, and it says, I believe that I have a idea of where to go that will not upset the workers in that facility. I shall adjust the map to make it more clear of what path that is. And as opposed to just sort of go from this point in this room to the exit, and now has a much more detailed pathway.
Good going.
I'm gonna oh yeah, we don't know that shit. Sorry, no, carry on.
All right, down we go.
All right. So main group goes down. And
one of us should probably go first, whoever's the quietest.
I've got stealth on.
My let's see, my dexterity is pretty good. And I have a camouflage of 11, whatever that does.
Ooh. Covering yourself in mud and shit and then staying in a hole.
Well, in this thing, it would probably be like putting
Engine
a
oil
crate
and-
over myself.
Yeah,
Big metal
covering
box.
yourself in
Taking
engine
wisely.
oil.
I gotta pull a Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, it's like
So-
eating hadrons and I'd say it smell like the electricity or something. I don't know.
So go ahead and give me a roll, folks.
Oh god.
I roll against for stealthing.
Yes.
What's stealth when you haven't got stealth?
Aha! I'm good.
I'm looking it up. It's Dex or IQ -5.
IQ. I'm gonna go with IQ.
All right.
-5. Oh boy. Oh boy. -5, huh? Yeah, that's gonna suck.
Okay.
I suppose it didn't fail that bad.
No, it's only a minor fail.
All right. Melanhonda is very obvious.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh,
She just kind of wanders out and stands there.
that physically hurts.
So did anything notice her?
Well, they noticed me anyway, potentially.
And Cash?
They failed that by 3, by the way.
I don't have a sneak skill, so I think it's just intelligence -5, you said?
Yes.
Yep.
I need a 6.
All right.
Bad.
Yeah.
We're doing very well in the stealthing today.
And Melanhonda
No.
doesn't have a stealth skill, so
And rolled a 17.
yes, she rolled pretty badly. All right, so let's see if the robots are aware of you guys.
Oh,
They are aware that there are visitors of some sort, but they haven't spotted everyone. And so far, they
Steve did say that they didn't seem to bother if you didn't get in the way. So
yeah, they do not seem to be changing their behavior so far. They seem to be sort of poking at random bits of equipment. A few of them kind of seem to look over in you guys' general direction, then can go back to work.
Alright. I'm going to archaeology at this room since we're in an ancient civilization structure.
Very smart.
call everyone else down.
Haha! I got it by 1.
All right. So you believe that this is some sort of power generation room. There is. It's very sort of utilitarian as far as cultural significance goes. So it's more purpose over form. But there are a few curious design quirks that may be more a result of the physical needs of the people that used to work here, as well as the robots themselves. The room appears to be seems to be of the same era of construction as the rest of the complex you've seen so far. So it was probably built here, at the same time. But it is a little weird that it's so deep underground, that you find perhaps a little odd.
Alright. I guess, did I see anything of interest that would make us so we didn't just want to follow the safe path out?
You do see several exits from the room. There does appear to be off in one corner what looks to be like an office sort of suspended halfway up the room, but you can't see into that at this point, so you don't know what might be in there. And this is something everyone can see, by the way.
So we do want to snoop this room, or do you want to leave this room? That's the question.
Well, you do have a pathway that supposedly could get you around the robots without trouble into where you're supposed to be going exit-wise.
How many robots are in here?
You're not quite sure, but it looks to be on the order of a dozen. Some of the various sizes, so there might be small ones you can't see.
So what do you guys think? Should we investigate the little office and other places, or should we just get on moving down the corridor to the exit?
I'm down for just moving. Get everyone else down here, guide them through the safe path.
Yeah.
And then go to the
Well,
next.
how far away is the office? Like, how far off of the path that we would need to take is it?
It'll probably take you about 15 minutes of going up and down random pathways to get there while not running right into one of the robots.
Oh, I don't know. I can't decide. Let's see.
So this is completely up to you guys what you do here. So,
Well, 15 minutes isn't that long, so
Well,
we could
I-
always...
Don't have to.
Yay!
Oh, this way, guys.
Well, if we want to, I seem to be the only one who can stealth anything, so I could take a minute and camouflage, and then... I don't have the stealth skill, but I've got outdoorsman and camouflage, so...
So you're potentially better at sitting still and having things not notice you as opposed to sneaking around.
Yeah.
All right. So what's the plan then?
If he wants to go explore, let him explore. Once we
Yeah,
get
everyone's
everyone
going.
out of this room.
Yeah. I
So-
mean,
Then we'll go to the room, and we're going to bring the others down till we're ready.
So you can send the elevator back up, and you can bring the Mr. Steve and the robots and the cart along with.
Yep.
And just in case it matters, the robots notice him as well. So
What's in the next room?
So you guys are heading towards the exit?
Yeah.
I thought Simon was heading to the office.
Oh,
Maybe I should, just in case there's anything.
All right. So,
So we were getting the people down. He was off that way.
All right.
I was going to see where we were running to next in case something went wrong with Simon.
Well, I got.
Let's get the civvies and the equipment to the exit, and then I'll stay in the central point to help support.
All right. Just for the reference, this is the way to the exit. Sort of. Where are we going? There we go. And the office is like up here. So Simon can sneak off.
Yeah, my dex is 12. I don't have sneak, but if we count either outdoorsman or camouflage as giving...
All right,
that doesn't look good.
Maybe I should double check, make sure I'm looking at this properly. There we go. You are not noticed by the robots.
Huzzah!
Because really the thing is, the Melahondra just failed so badly that they just barely noticed her. So you were able to get up to the office quite easily, actually.
Aye. Anything interesting in there? Key cards, equipment, cool alien super weapon.
The door is slightly ajar. It does have a key card scanner, it seems like, of some sort, but you can actually quite easily just push it open because it's just completely in disuse and disrepair. Inside we go. Inside is the remains of what kind of looks like an office. The seats are definitely different than what you would expect in a human sort of office, as well as the general ergonomics for the various terminals and things like that. There also seems to be at least one desk that doesn't have any sort of computer on it at all. Just a bunch of, piles of dust where it might have been papers at some point. But you do see what seems to be an alien paperweight made out of some sort of metal. Other than that, the room actually seems less overall interesting because just so much of it's been just totally decayed. Like there's what seems to be like a picture frame on the wall, but what the picture was is completely faded, and actually like the material of that is like fallen apart.
Well, I don't know what to roll. I want to rifle through drawers or something. I guess I should perception and see if I can find the key card or something useful.
All right. So this would be say a search.
Yeah.
Which is on the next page or two down for I need to be looking. So there'll be a perception is the base -5 it looks like.
Oof.
So give me a roll.
That's probably failed. I got a 9 and my perception is 10.
All right. You do see that the paperweight is oddly interesting looking. You do have a look in one of the desks, and you do find a couple bits of what seems to be heavily decayed plastics. They might have been key cards at some point. You do find a couple other random devices, but you have no clue what they might do.
Do any of them seem small and functional? And I guess I'll pocket the paperweight.
All right. You pocket the paperweight, and these strange devices, you have they don't seem to be functional at all, and you have no idea what they'd even do. They could be a calculator for all you know.
All right. I suppose if any of them if one of them's small enough, I'll just grab that too to show them.
All right. You grab one of the random devices and pocket it. So
I'm trying to remember how to add equipment.
All right. Yeah, it's a little weird. So the rest of the folks get down from the sphere room to the what I'm going to be calling the reactor room, because that's actually what it is. And in fact, anyone with any sort of spacer skills could probably identify some of the equipment as actually fusion reactors that are actually quite active right now.
Cool.
The question is, where's the fuel coming from, and what is it powering?
Could it be a big laser in front of the building from space?
Maybe.
It seems like a fairly power-hungry device, let's put it that way.
Probably is. In fairness, it probably is.
All right. There's I got a little bit more for you guys today, but we are getting close to the end of today's session. But so you guys.
Well, we're at the exit room now, so
you're going to be exiting the room, and you are revealed. What was that roll for? Am I still here?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, wrong button.
Okay.
Do I need to roll to go back to the group?
I'm going to say no. You can probably get it back pretty easily. The robots are not being very perceptive today, so.
All right, fine.
So I'll go ahead and reveal the next little bit. So the directions are to basically go straight forward through this tunnel. You guys can get in here quite easily. As well as straight through a series of other structures, which are all of these, until the last one where you're supposed to actually go down at some point. So if you are just passing through all these, long story short, they seem to be various mixtures of various machinery. They are as well as occasionally like what seems to be, maybe not necessarily full-on offices, but like sort of terminal clusters where if someone needed to come down here to do some, technical work, they'd be able to come here and operate some of the machinery. But, there doesn't seem to be actually much going on here other than stuff that's just sort of working, and you guys have no idea what any of this is for, unless you want to investigate closer.
Okay.
Oh, though I do want to give Mal this small alien device thing. Go, here, I got you a computer-looking doohickey. Happy birthday.
Right, give me
Take a nosy at that.
Give me a roll to try to figure out what this is. Probably some sort of electronics operations.
Yeah, the military operation is 12. That's passed.
All right. So I'm going to say that the device that you have been just handed is the alien equivalent of an iPod.
Ooh.
So you can listen to alien music.
Yeah.
Potentially. Or whatever else they might store on such a device. Yeah, maybe they're all about podcasts instead. So unless there's objections to moving forward, I'll keep pushing you guys on.
On we go.
All right.
On we go.
You are eventually shown towards a lift that will take you down. Do you take the lift, or do you go back, or do you explore, or what do you do?
Well, I already explored.
To the lift.
All right.
Yeah.
Down you go.
I'm good for moving forward.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and fast forward things a little bit here. So another tunnel, another bit of equipment down here, and then finally it says to go to one final lift to take you down even further.
I mean, we may as well. We do seem to be going the wrong direction.
Well, in fact, you're further out from the main building than you were before.
Yeah.
And you guys have been down here for a while. The air pressure in this area is actually, about where it was at the peak in the one office area computer area where you found the clone. So things are much more sealed down here, it seems like, or higher priority.
I'm continuing my thing from the surface of only using my oxygen mask when I feel like I'm running out of breath.
Okay. So you're gonna be prolonging yours more than the others, it seems, other than Melek's, of course. All right. So there's an elevator. One fateful more elevator for today's adventure. Do you go down?
So we're still surrounded by murder bots.
Sorry. The robots seem to be mostly in that reactor room, but they seem to be less frequent after that. In fact, you've maybe seen one since then.
I mean, in general.
Yeah.
We're still in the place where the robots live.
Yeah. I mean, in general, we're in a big complex that's got robots in it that if we were to be hostile to them, we probably wouldn't make it out. Let's put it that way.
We don't exactly have a lot of choice unless we just go back to the ship and book it. So
yeah, and we got no reason to doubt the computer now. So I'm sorry, Dave. He has a name.
One more elevator. You got a lot of masked loading screens in this area.
Yes. So, but don't worry, that will be changing. So one more elevator. It's quite large, much more heavy lifting elevator. It goes down, 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 quite deep, and opens up in a small hallway.
Okay.
Encounter room.
And I think I forgot your mule and cart, but I'll get those up for next time. So small hallway, you guys can all load out, and there's a big, spooky-looking hatch at the end.
Spooky.
What do you do?
I think we should open it.
I think we should open it. I don't have to open it.
Yeah, well, we're here. Nowhere else to go. Might as well open it.
Melhandra shrugs, moves forward, grabs the giant wheel, and tries to turn it very slowly.
As the door opens, we all run into the elevator.
She actually seems to be having a lot of trouble with this, but it is slowly turning. It's your last chance to run away before she opens it up.
Nah, we're fine.
All right. She eventually gets it open. The door opens. It swings, out into the space beyond, and you see darkness.
Oh.
All right. Everyone has a flashlight.
Yeah.
Most of us have flashlights or infrared vision of some kind.
So, some flashlights are pointed out there, and you see something a little strange as you sort of illuminate a little bit of what's out there. The floor is actually like, about, let's say 10 meters down. And as you get a little spotlight out there, it seems to be grass.
What?
Uh-huh.
And not frozen grass either.
Ooh.
Like a biodome underground.
So there
is there a way down from the corridor down to the ground level, or
you can actually
ladder upstairs or something?
I'm in the room.
Yeah, so you can actually there is actually a ladder on the past the hatch that goes down.
Good, because if there wasn't, then they just have a 20-meter drop. So.
Whee! So you guys can.
I'm running into the room. I'm running around. I'm trying to figure out what this thing is. I failed my.
So I'll go ahead and illuminate a bit more here, because it is very dark, like cavern dark, like you're deep underground. There's no lights dark other than you guys's, and there does appear to be trees. There does seem to be some sort of alien grass, and there does seem to be alien plants here, and they are all very much alive. These are not artificial. They're not.
I'm going to shine upwards and see if there's any lights that would. Is it nighttime, simulated nighttime, and there are lights above us that are off? What is it?
Your light goes up, and the wall goes up quite some distance. Do remember you guys had just gone down a very, very long elevator down.
Yeah. Okay, I have infrared binoculars. If I just pop those on and look around, can I see detail in the distance?
All right.
Like, for example, potential lights on the roof, that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's right. I also have night vision binoculars.
All right. Anyone who's using night vision, you do kind of get a sense that there is a ceiling up there. It does appear to be having some sort of structures that may be lights. So perhaps you just came in the middle of the night cycle. If you're
Dave, make it daytime, please.
Is that a good idea?
Are you only looking up?
No, looking around.
Yeah, I was about to say, because if there's like a load of fucking alien predators in here, then that would be bad.
You do seem to see something off, not super far away.
I'm going to punch a tree and get some wood. I'll fashion a cobblestone as quickly as I can.
I'll also say the inquiries with Dave. Dave will respond, I do not control the cycles in that facility. It is beyond my direct control. The way forward is a access point on the distance side. I lack the exact terminology to describe where, but the map should tell you where to go.
I'm using my infrared things and my naturalist to see if there are signs of life down here other than plants.
Oh, most certainly. There's most certainly signs of life not so far away, actually.
Uh-oh.
And I'm going to... for dramatic sake, we'll say that around this point of time, the lights overhead do start slowly coming on.
Oh, take the infrared off.
Yeah, before I get blinded.
This is so everyone can kind of get a little bit here. It does take, it is going to take a while, but slowly everyone's vision can start sort of revealing further and further, and distant shapes in the distance, weird shapes, unusual shapes. Come on,
unless anyone's got to pee, this is just another room. So I say that we just keep headed for where the map tells us to go.
There seems to be some things over there.
Oh, what the fuck is that?
They look friendly.
Teeth.
No.
There seems to be at least three.
I might have failed by 1. Most of my stuff is 9. What is it?
So our naturalist Supremo looks over there, and you realize these are some sort of aliens, some sort of large aliens with 6 limbs in total. 3 legs, 3 arms. Their heads generally, sort of pointed upwards. It looks like, and they seem to be kind of asleep.
They look kind of like the things the robots are modeled off.
I'll say, even if we see the robots and the office layouts and stuff, and the vehicles we saw on the surface, do these look like they would be the advanced civilization that built this place?
Well,
these things fit in the chairs.
Well, these things are a lot bigger.
Yeah, with the chairs, so that car with the weird little leg thing, and then these robots would be modeled after the aliens that built them traditionally.
Well, it's so these things are definitely larger than what the facility has been generally designed for, as far as the cars, the seats, the passageways. These things are pretty beefy. But I guess the question is, does this seem like the kind of life that may be related to something that might have been here? Most certainly, yes.
I'm going to say we are talking about a very long time since the surface was used.
Yeah.
So,
well, just because it's like everything on Earth is bilaterally symmetrical. That just because this thing's trilaterally symmetrical doesn't mean it's the same sentient thing.
Correct.
Yes, exactly.
So related somehow, who knows how?
Yeah, they could be like the equivalent of gorillas are to us, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But as far as identifying what these things are specifically, you have never seen something like this before in your life.
Does Dave have any ideas about what these things are? Because he doesn't control the room, but he's up monitoring on it. So
yeah, does the iPad have a camera on it?
That's a good question. I'm going to roll for it. I'm going to say that it does.
Send Dave a picture.
What the hell are those?
Fascinating. I do not know.
Good of
I'm
all.
gonna ask him. Would he recognize life that was, alive on this planet back in the day, or is this just life it's not in his database of creatures? Does he have a database of creatures?
Dave will seem to be thinking about it for a few moments, and then we'll come back. These are definitely from the descendants of some sort of life form on this planet. As for what they are specifically, I do not know. I do not recognize their exact forms. I could maybe hazard a guess of perhaps a dozen creatures they could be related to.
Go on.
Are any of those dangerous?
Yes.
They look dangerous.
It starts doing the weird alien language to identify the names of the various creatures, and some of them
are they predators and are they sapient?
And it thinks about the question again and says they may be either.
Oh God.
Here's my question. So this is a closed ecosystem room. So unless there's something that looks like it's dispensing meat, these things have to be herbivores.
Or it's large enough to have prey in here.
Because you guys can't see, you guys are kind of in a corner of this giant room, but you can't see the far sides.
Well, if this is like a full-fledged ecosystem with a food chain, we'd be able to see other critters. There'd be bugs or something. There'd be something that's not a giant, whatever that is.
Okay.
Or at least signs of other animals around.
Well, perhaps it's time to look around for those.
Yeah, and the plan would be to get through this room before they see us and get out.
Yes.
Now, I will say that you have perhaps only moments before they might start to wake up, because it is morning time.
Well, time to start sneaking up. How do I make it ping? Why can't I make it ping?
Got to be selected on the arrow, not the thing. Arrow. Hold
There
it
we
down.
go.
So you want to get up?
Yeah,
Go
up here.
up that away from the thingies.
That seems reasonable.
So Melhandra will take point, I guess.
Is this an edge? Like
Yeah,
a wall?
Yeah, that's a wall.
I want to look at the tree.
The tree. All right.
Be one with the tree.
Yeah, give me an appropriate roll.
Well, I either just made it with my perception, like my freaking natural skill is lower than my perception skill, so I don't know what to use here.
Well, this is Earth-like, so you are, very much on point there. I will say that the best you could tell is this tree is probably related to some of those you saw on the surface. Has some differences. I will say that you do spot a couple bugs, so there is probably much more than just a basic ecosystem here.
Aye. Is there anything? Do any of the trees look like they have been eaten on about the height of whatever those things would be able to reach? Because they're big enough they would be eating the trees if they don't eat meat.
Give me another roll. Because these are alien trees, and you're not quite sure.
Ooh.
You have no idea.
Ah, well. I guess sneaky.
All right. All right. So slowly moving along the edge of the wall, and Melhandra moves forward a little bit, and one of the creatures wakes up. Does it see everyone? That's a good question. It does not seem to be paying you guys much attention.
Should we have taken the time to spread a bunch of dirt over Melhandra so she doesn't look all big and shiny and metallic?
That's a big question, isn't it?
All right. I'm gonna if we're trying to sneak by, I should use my camouflage skills to appropriately shove some leaves on people. Unless anyone's going to struggle.
Seems fine.
Go for it.
Ha! Passed it by 4.
All right. You guys are a lot more difficult to spot for these creatures.
Excellent.
So the question is, though, do you want to go investigate them more, or do you just want to get through here?
I think we should have eyes on the exit before we try to say hello.
Yeah, I think we should be at the exit, and then if we have to run, we can run to the exit.
All right. So I will say that you guys start progressing through the giant biosphere area here. And for the moment, you seem to be getting through without getting detected. And that's where we're going to leave today's episode, or this adventure today.
All right.
Welcome to the Forgotten World.
Blobborassic Park.
Yes. So. Woof. Plus, I need to finish making the map for the next area. Yeah.
All right, Mal. I want you to start thinking about how you can make your tablet live translate. You've got a translation program,
well,
so we just need to turn it into a universal translator.
So we have a translation program. Now we're just going to figure out how to make it do text to speech. Got it.
Some things to work on. Anything else before we finish up here?
The thing that springs to mind.
All right. Cool. I am going to award everyone 5 experience points.
Oh shit! I didn't hear any of that.
Oh no!
That was perfect.
Warn everyone.
So 5 experience points for getting to the secret world under Kosambi.
Oh really? Oh.
Hooray!
Yes.
So we're like, what is it, 120 now?
I think for most. There was also
that would make it 120.
Yeah, because for some of you guys, you have had your downtime to share your special stories.
Okay.
I still have a lot of XP to deal with from last time around.
So we'll get to spending XP once you guys get all this robots and lasers and underground civilizations figured out.
Yeah. Yeah, 10 to spend is good.
Yes. I was kind of hoping that one of the creatures would notice you, because then I was going to have it bother you guys. In various ways.
Hey, over here. Hey, you. Hey.
How did they even notice us?
Kill it. We'll just literally kill them.
Do you have a minute to talk about Greenpeace? I have a clipboard. Does it have a clipboard?
It has actually 5 clipboards. They're all strapped to its sides.
Nah.
All right. So as we end up the stream, as I like to do, as everyone is probably aware of. So where can people find you guys, like on the internet?
You can find me behind you. That's it. That's it. That's the only place you can find me. So when you turn around, I'm still behind you. That's why you can never see me.
Very magical.
Sounds legit.
He's also known as Archmage Melek, but he's very, very shy about that. You can find him on the YouTubes. Next.
Oh, I have a rope that sports 8,000 pounds.
Excellent. Then everything was okay.
I finally found it.
God damn it. Took you so long.
In the bottom of his bag.
So where could we find Van? Where are you? We're on the internet.
At Van Velding. On Twitter, YouTube, whatever.
Cool. Peter?
I'm PeterTaylorTX. You find me on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and basically variety stream, variety YouTube stuff. And you'll find me around, basically. Do a lot of stuff.
Cool. Gepwin?
Yes, you can find me as Gepwin on Twitter and Discord and YouTube and do gaming stuff, branching out into other things. And Izixs and I do a podcast called Watches of Tomorrow, where we go through vintage sci-fi TV.
Yes. I think this might be an appropriate, time to use this. Then, next time on Stellar Renaissance, the crew goes through some sort of alien zoo.
Yay!
We're in the Alien Zoo episode.
We're gonna get so mutilated.
But are you, visiting the animals, or the animals visiting you?
We're gonna have to talk about the history of animal rights activism.
Hooray! All right, so I'm going to end the stream, so thank you much for joining and all that. And
thank you for running the game.
Yeah, and until next
fun.
time.
Well, next time.
Wow.
Bye.
And I'll do my usual thing where I let myself know where the stream actually ends by changing up the screen a little bit, and I'll actually move you guys over to here, so I don't have any odd previews when I'm editing maps later.
You know what that's like.
So you guys have traveled, hundreds of light years, and delved deep, hundreds of meters below the surface of an alien planet, and you met aliens.
Yeah, it's who would have thought?
Thrice. The question is this intelligent life, or is it just, random critters around here?
Yeah,
Alien elephants.
they're basically going to be hella evolved over the years, kept alive by fucking technology or whatever. So I don't think they're going to be that smart somehow.
Well, I said the AI doesn't control that room, and we know the other AI controls the robot. So the question is it a third AI, or is it locally controlled? So.
Good question.
Yeah, that is a good question. Oh well.
And of course, there's all the other stuff
I've
that's
seen
happening
it
outside of
before,
here,
like-
too.
I've actually kind of forgotten our original mission, if it's just to investigate or to save the
Well,
colony.
they were complaining about the combination. They were complaining that the laser was making the star unstable, causing solar flares and causing issues, and that whenever they tried to investigate the facility, a load of robots attacked them. So they called for help. Khan then decided he needed to send a team to deal with the situation, and that's us.
Mhm.
Well, most of us.
Alright.
Now, we found that there's an AI that claims that the laser is not destabilizing the star, it's actually stabilizing it. And that switching it off would actually cause it to become worse. And that's what we're investigating. The murders are a side thing. The weird clones is a side thing. The AI, Hera, the AI ship, obviously side thing. But yeah, there's a lot of side things going on. But generally speaking, the mission is to alleviate problems. I mean, we may already have decided or discovered that the laser is a good thing, and therefore, technically, mission accomplished.
Apparently
Yeah.
mission's accomplished, but now we've got so many side missions complete.
Wasn't it basically keep them star from exploding?
Yeah, but yeah, something like that. That's what the laser was being blamed for. But according to the AI, that's exactly what's preventing it. It might be that it hasn't got enough power to permanently stabilize it, and therefore we can fix that. The laser will stop, the star will stabilize. Hey presto, everyone will be happy.
Hooray.
Well, all we know
We'll
is
see.
we know that the AI said there was things not working that it couldn't repair. So maybe the planet's current state is because of the state of disrepair.
Yeah, I mean, it might be that we can, help them out in some way. They can then boost the power on the laser thing, fix the star, and then the laser will shut down, and everyone will be like, "Oh, we were worried when it suddenly became more intense, and then it shut down, and the star's more stable, and yay!" And then problem solved. But
Or
yeah.
we blow the planet. One of the two.
Yeah, even if the star gets destroyed, as long as we can leave, then Steve's the only clone left, and he's like legally an individual.
Yeah, legally he is the only one left. Yeah.
What about the other clones, though? Like the
Yeah, they don't- they don't-
lady
they don't
clones.
Well,
Oh,
shit.
well, they'd just be dead.
Yeah.
You have to kidnap one of them too.
I have DNA samples of them anyway. I could give it to Thingy Varkas or whatever his name is, and he could then create the lady clone from that. I guess he'd probably have the tech or have access to it, and hey presto, job
We're
done.
gonna Adam and Eve them.
Ooh.
Leave them on some planet somewhere.
Yeah.
Or even in
It
the
would be amazing.
biosphere.
It would be beautiful.